The good folks at Comics for Fun and Profit have been doing 2 episodes a week for quite some time now, and it's all thanks to, first of all, Jason, and second of all, our patrons who allow us to add the space on our server, broadcast more, store more, share more with you, the listeners. I'm envious of those of you who have unlimited storage and media server capabilities. We pay for ours here at the C4 FAP. It ain't cheap. We thank you so much for those of you who go to patreon.com/comicsfunprofit and contribute at any level to say thanks, to say I want to be a part of your Slack channel conversations. I want to get exclusives. I want to get early access. I want to get ad-free access. I want to get swag. I want to get some free stuff. Whatever your reasoning is, we appreciate it at any level because it does make a difference. So from the bottom of Kyle and I and Jason's heart, thank you for contributing.
Aloha! This is Jason from Hawaii. Welcome to a special edition of the Comics for Fun and Profit podcast. In this episode, I will be interviewing writer and artist Megan Huang. She is here to promote the second volume of her series, Rangers of the Divide 2, Into the Depths from Dark Horse. This is described as a science fiction fantasy story. The first trade, Rangers of the Divide, Volume 1, First Ascent, is out in stores right now, and it is also available on Comixology. And the first issue of Rangers of the Divide, Into the Depths, comes out on October 26th, and the second issue comes out on November 30th. Megan, welcome to Comics for Fun and Profit podcast. I have 2 questions for you to start off things. One, how are you doing today?
I am good. I think tired as you know.
Yes.
But I am otherwise, I'm good. I'm happy to be here.
Oh, no, thank you very much.
Oh.
And listeners, before me and Megan started, we both were talking about, we're a little tired, and so if you hear someone snoring in the background, it's probably me.
It's one of us.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Megan, you know what? And I'm sorry, I forgot to clarify this with you, but did I pronounce your last name correctly?
Yes, you did. Yeah. I didn't wince or anything.
Okay.
Earlier today I had another call, and it was mispronounced by the person I was talking to, and I didn't correct them. I don't really correct people usually, but I kind of find it funny when it's mispronounced too, because sometimes
Yes.
people get weird with it.
Yeah, yes.
Yeah.
So, yeah. So, but thank you very much.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Um, Now, before we get into the interview, I just want to go over Megan's work. And listeners, I told Megan to correct me if I make any mistakes or anything like that. And Megan, feel free to jump in if you want to add anything to, your history of work. So
Okay.
I know you've done some work for Action Lab, um, Double Jumpers, and Princeless. Is that
Yes.
correct?
Yeah.
And then
That's
Mhm.
yeah.
No.
Yeah, that and some variants for them too, for like Zombie Tramp and oh man, Vamp Blade. Yeah.
Okay. And variant mean you did the cover art for the variant
Yeah,
cover.
the cover.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. And then also too, you did I'm gonna try to I can't I might have a hard time pronouncing this TMNT New Turtles name. You did a
Danica?
Jenga? Yeah.
The thing is, I don't know how to. I've never heard it like spoken. I mean, yeah. So, but I think it's Jenica. Yeah.
Yeah, okay, Jenica, that's right, Jenica. And that was a TMNT backup story in an
Hmm.
IDW issue, correct?
Yeah.
Okay. Now, and I know you did a couple of recent variant cover arts for Harley Quinn 21. Is that correct?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
And then I know you're going to be doing a soon to be released Star Wars Hyperspace Stories number 3. Um
Issue 2.
oh, issue 2.
Uh,
Okay, I'm sorry.
and sorry, issue 3. I am doing a thing for part of it. Well, a small thing for issue 3, which is just the cover. That which is that was actually a kind of mistake Dark Horse made, giving me that cover, but then we just kind of went with it. So, yeah, I got an extra cover out of that. It's
Oh,
pretty cool.
nice.
Yeah.
Okay. And then I'm now, Megan, off the cuff question. Because we already talked about this before we started the interview, but how big of a Star Wars fan are you?
Oh, I'm pretty big of a fan. Like I'm a huge fan. I was just
Oh,
moving around action figures from my around my workspace today, and kind of removing. I, I mentioned before we started this, right? That I was moving. I'm gonna move the DC stuff out,
the
and I'm gonna
McFarlane.
put
Oh my God, yeah.
more Star. And what my plan is to put more Star Wars in. So, um,
God.
yeah, I'm gonna just kind of rearrange it. I'm not getting rid of the DC stuff for sure, but I just want to make it
Mhm.
like 100% Star Wars because yeah, I'm a huge fan.
I'm sorry. I have to. I'm sorry. I'm kind of going off the cuff, and I'm going to get back on track. But I know you have the Black Series figure, the 6-inch Black Series figures. Do you
Yeah.
have the 3 3/4 action figures, the smaller ones?
Yes, I have mostly the vintage collection, and then I have a few other retro collection. I don't think they make as many of the retro collection, but
Yeah.
I have a few of those. Yeah.
Mhm. All right. And then okay, sorry. Okay, let me get back on track.
No, no,
Um,
it's no problem.
okay, so and then I know for Dark Horse you did some work for them. You were a colorist on Jenny Zero, is that correct?
Yes, for like for the first issue, yeah.
Okay.
The, I
Mhm.
think it was released in singles, right?
Okay, I don't know.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm sorry. There's so much comics out there. It's like I
There is so many. Yeah.
yeah. And then you also did work on Gia and the Neon Monster from Dark Horse. I hope
Yeah.
I'm pronouncing the title
That is
correct.
a mouthful.
Okay.
You did pronounce it right. Yeah, I did that. Yeah.
Okay. All right. Now, I'm going to be honest. I barely touched the surface of your work. Is there any particular work that you are very proud of that you want listeners to know about?
I mean, I feel like you covered a lot of it actually.
Okay.
Um,
Mhm.
uh, well, I think it's I think it's already been announced, but it hasn't been announced that I'm part of it yet. So I guess this will be like the first place I publicly tell people,
Okay.
but I think it's okay to do it. Um, but like I'll be working on as a colorist in some parts of the new Freddie Mercury graphic novel from Z2.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so I helped out with that, and I'm pretty happy and proud about that because like I love Queen and I
Oh,
love Freddie Mercury. Uh,
oh, that's gonna be
and
nice.
yeah.
Oh my God. Okay, that's pretty cool. Um, I'm just I mean, if you cannot tell me any more, that's fine, but do you know who the writer is on that?
Oh, yes, it's Trey Dean, and I worked with him on the All-Time Low graphic novel with Z2 as well, which is also a band. And yeah, he's really nice, and he's really, supportive, and just a really nice guy to work with. I'm happy. I don't know if he knows I'm actually on like helped out with this book, but I'm sure he'll see, and then he'll be like, Megan, you did it.
Uh-huh.
So yeah, it's pretty cool. Yeah,
Ah, okay. Oh, but thank you for sharing that. Thank you very much.
no problem.
Okay. All right. Now, um, now, for listeners, I just want to let you guys know that I got information about little information about Megan from like couple sources. One was it's the AIPT article. That
Hmm.
was I'm sorry, what was that?
No, I was just going, just like listening
Oh,
along.
okay, sorry.
Sorry, I'll just like, yeah.
No, just do that. That's fine. Don't worry.
Okay.
I wasn't too sure if it's like because I was trying to look like I was trying to see if like is AIPT, is it an acronym or something, or is it or
I think
I
it
don't know,
is. I can't remember what it stands for though.
because I was trying to look on their website. And but that's fine. Just keep going. That don't worry about that.
Okay.
Yeah. So okay. So the article, the art. because we just want to we're having fun. But
Yeah.
that's the main thing. Yeah. So so the article is titled "Exclusive Dark Horse First Look at Rangers of the Divide 2 Into the Depths #1," and the article is written by David Brooke, and it was published July 28th of 2022. And I also checked out a podcast, True North Country Comics. That podcast was dated now the date I saw was January 6th of 2022, but I think I think they may have recorded the interview back in last year when you were working like on, I think, the first two issues of Rangers of the Divide. That's what it sounds like.
Oh, that would be last year then.
Yeah.
Did I say that in the interview? Maybe I
No,
said that.
no,
Oh.
because when I was listening to the interview, I usually try to get dates when it came out.
Oh.
It looked like it said it was released on January 6th of 2022. But yeah, so it's like, oh, so I'm like, oh, okay. But anyway, I mean, but listeners, the main thing is this is where I got my information from.
Okay.
So
Yeah.
if you guys want to check out, the article and the podcast, please feel free to do so. All right. So Megan, where can listeners follow you on social media?
They can follow me on Instagram and Twitter. I'm on Facebook too, but that's like, I don't know, Facebook is weird. So
Nah,
I'll just give, and I don't really know how. I don't. There's no at Megan Huang anything's on Facebook, so I don't know. But uh, s- uh, so yeah, my handles are at Megan Huang 5 for both Twitter and Instagram, so you can find me there.
mhm.
Yeah.
And then listeners, I'm going to really encourage you to so I'm just only on Twitter. I'm not on Instagram and Facebook.
Okay.
So, but I'm going to encourage listeners to follow you on Twitter because there is I saw that you did because it looked like you, because I'm just asking because it looked like you saw the movie Prey on
I
Hulu,
did.
the Predator,
Yeah.
and you did art. He did an incredible artwork on that. Oh my God, that was you know that was
Yeah.
beautiful. You know,
Thank you.
oh yeah. And then now, correct me if I'm wrong, because I didn't expand the picture or anything, but I know you talked about Bullet Train, the Brad Pitt movie. So
Hmm.
did you kind of do an artwork just to show how much you love the movie? Because I didn't blow it. I don't know if it did.
Yeah, that's Bullet Train. I'm gonna see it again this weekend. So
Oh, that's
yeah.
nice. That's really nice. Okay. All right. So um I know you live in now correct me if I'm wrong. According to your, I think I, I got the information that you live in Toronto. So I'm
Yeah.
gonna ask, what part of Canada are you originally from?
I've been here my whole life. I'm not
Okay.
very, yeah, I know a lot of people move around. They're like, oh yeah, I used to live in the UK. Oh, I used to live in like Africa, all
Yeah.
these cool places. But I'm just like, I've just been stationary like this entire time. But yeah, but it's a good place, I
Yeah.
think. That's why,
Oh,
because
yeah. Mhm.
why ruin a good thing potentially,
No, that's fine.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, that's fine. And then
Mhm.
let's see. Now, what was or were your first comics that you read? And it could be anything from Sunday Comics, Magazine, manga.
Um, I think I really got properly started when, the new 52 came out, and that was my gateway in. But before that, I mean, I read some comics here and there, and I read like, oh, Dark Horse's like Predators comic
Oh
with
yeah,
like,
yes.
yeah, and Um, I don't know. I feel like there's probably something earlier on, but it's like I can't remember that far back.
Oh, that's fine.
Yeah,
Yeah. Oh, okay.
yeah. Oh, I think Winx, or was it Witch? One of them had like a comic. I remember having that when I was younger. Um, and then yeah, so I think that might have been earlier on, and then like Bone as well.
Oh yes,
Um,
yeah.
yeah. so those things were like the earliest kind of comics or graphic novels that I got into. Yeah.
Mhm. And then I now like novels, um just regular prose novels. What kind of books did you read while you were growing up?
Oh, um, anything with like dragons in it. Um, so yeah, if it like I would actually go to the bookstore looking for like things specifically with dragons in
Yeah,
them. So like what was that series? Like Ice Fire, Dark Fire? I don't can't remember like the dragon. I don't know what it was called, like the Dragon Chronicles or something like that.
sounds familiar.
Um,
Yeah. Mhm.
yeah, Dragon Rider, Aragon, of course.
Oh yes. Hmm.
Um, How to Train Your Dragon.
Hmm.
Um, Tamarair. Just yeah, everything dragons. Yeah.
Yeah. And listeners, the only reason why I'm asking Megan these questions is when we start getting into Rangers of the Divide, um, you know, um, you know, some of my comments are going to be, this is very, it seems very, well, I'll just say it right now, it just seems very mythical. And
Mhm.
it seems um because there's at least like one mythical character, the Wendigo, is it, and if, it's in the story. It just, yeah, it just sort of has almost sort of Lord of the Rings vibe to it.
Oh, well, I
It
appreciate that. That's high
no,
praise.
it does, because it's um um okay, so the listeners, this is where you can tell I'm going off script because I'm doing the ums and I'm going to start stumbling on words. And so um because um yeah, and I'll let Megan talk about the characters, but it just seems like it's, and I could, and correct me if I'm wrong, but to me it seems like it's almost like for these new cadets, it's like a trial. It's either part of it is like almost a coming of age of how they have to become rangers, and it's a trial
Hmm.
by fire. And plus, in the first volume where they go, and I can't remember the name of the location, but they Bryce and Brand, if I remember correctly, they go to this one location, and there's one picture that you drew beautifully where there's these two huge
All right.
statues, and I was like,
I remember
wow, that's really nice.
that.
It
Thank you.
just had it like I say, it just has a very mystical feel to it. So yeah. So
Thank
okay.
you.
Oh no, you're welcome. Okay, sorry. Let me get back to the questions. All right.
Okay.
So, all right. So what was your first comic shop that you went to, or do you have a comic shop when you were growing up?
Um, yeah. So the first comic shop would have to be it. I didn't realize it for a while, but it's actually like a chain here,
Hmm.
which is actually pretty good for them, you know. Um, it's like I don't really know of any other comic shops that have kind of like chain stores in the area,
Yeah.
at least. But yeah, it's Conspiracy Comics.
Ah. Mhm.
Yeah, and they they've gone to Fan Expo and I've stopped by their table before and stuff. So that was my first one.
Mhm.
And I still have a pull list with them, so that's good.
That's
Yeah.
nice.
Yeah.
Ah, okay. I'm glad that they're still around.
Yeah. Doing well, I think.
Yes.
I mean, if they're a chain, I would think. Yeah.
Oh, yes.
Yeah.
Ah, that's nice. All right.
Yeah.
So, how did your journey started working in comics?
Um, well, I think uh, my first real like gig was with Action Lab for
Hmm.
coloring double jumpers. That was my first real one. I did I was just trying before that, like trying to get proper work, trying to, get seen or whatever.
Hmm.
And then after that, things started to, I mean, slowly, but surely it started to get better and better, like career wise for me. Um, I got more opportunities and I had made more connections. And you mentioned before we started this interview, Adam Gorham, and he
Yes.
gave me, I think he like really helped me. Like, if not for him giving me a few contacts,
Mm-hmm.
like I don't know if I'd be in the same place. I was on the train back from like Fan Expo. Quick story. I was on the train back
Yes.
from Fan
Yeah.
Expo with him, and he, I was sitting there all like doom and gloom. I was like, nobody wants to hire me. And he was like, he was like, do you want some contacts? I was like, you don't have to if you don't want to. And he was like, no, no, it's okay. Um, and he he sent me some contacts over email after we both got home or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, so I got some IDW, I got some Boom contacts.
Oh,
I
it's
haven't worked with
nice.
Boom yet though,
Mm-hmm.
but they seem to like me from what I hear. And and yeah, so I think he really helped me to get more consistent work. And
Oh, it's nice.
yeah, and I definitely try to pay him back when I can.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. No, that's
Yeah.
really nice.
Yeah.
Oh, no, but thank you for sharing that. I mean, yeah, yeah. But I'm glad things are working out. Yes. So yeah.
Yeah, thank you.
All right. So let's just jump in. Rangers of the Divide. Now, listeners, I've already told you, the first trade is already out already. So, if you guys get a chance, go to your local comic shop, see if it's there. If not, order it. Um, or you can order it off of Comixology. And like I've said it has a very mystical feel to it. Megan has already talked about her love for dragons. There are dragons in this story. I've already mentioned the Wendigos. Um, and also too, there's an now. Correct me if I'm wrong, because squalling owls. That's like another mythical creature. Is that correct?
Is
I
it?
I don't know.
I
Because I get
I
that. I don't know.
I I just made it up.
Oh, okay. All right. Okay. All right. Because I kept going. God, this was so
It could be.
familiar.
We could
I
make it into a myth.
Yeah. But I love how it's um I'm trying to I can't remember if it was a page or a panel that when the owl was attacking, it was like, oh my god, I swear that this is another mythical creature. Like I said, I could be wrong. So yeah, but it looked
It's
yeah.
kind of like, the eagles from
Mhm.
Lord of the Rings, but those were nice birds. This one's not so nice.
Yeah. Hmm.
Or one of those, what's that, one of those movies like Arthur and the Invisibles, or something, or like Epic or something, where like people get shrunk down and
Hmm.
then they get chased by the giant birds, giant owls, or
Yeah.
something. So um it's kind of like that, but instead of being shrunk down, just like the owl's huge.
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. So now listeners, now before we start talking about Rangers of the Divide 2 Into the Depths, I I want me and Megan to talk about the first volume in terms of story, characters, and the world that she has created. Um, so Megan, for some listeners who are not familiar with this story, what is the story about?
Um, so the story follows a group of rangers, well, cadets, and their very secretive commander as
Hmm.
they travel across like these wildlands in order to stop a mysterious enemy, which is semi-revealed kind of in the first volume. But
Yes.
yeah,
Hmm.
yeah. So that's kind of like the gist of it. That's the pitch I usually give people
Hmm.
for the book.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, and it's sci-fi, fantasy,
Yes.
um, and I think it's a fun ride. I mean, I'm biased, but I
Mhm.
think I like it. I
Mhm.
like it. So I
Yeah.
mean, that's good that I like my own book.
um, um, I'm gonna don't worry because I've got some notes here where it's it's not just a straight fantasy. There's science fiction elements to it, and
Yeah.
I love the little twist in it too. Um, but well, I'm not going to give away the ending too because yeah. Anyway, all right. Let me just ask the next question. So, how did you come up with the story?
Um, I I played a lot of video games.
Okay, that,
And
yeah.
that's a great way to start that. I played a lot of video games. I, watched a lot of movies. I read a lot of stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And a lot of the things I gravitated to that I realized I really liked was that kind of The Last of Us, Joel and Ellie,
Mm-hmm.
kind of that father-daughter relationship, even though they're not related, kind of thing, like the Grogu Mandalorian
Yes,
kind of
yeah.
stuff. Um, and I wanted to do that
Yes.
with Eric and especially Elsie.
Yes, yeah.
Yeah, so I kind of drew from that, and then I mixed it it can't be a straight copy of The Last of Us,
Mm-hmm.
because that's like copyrighted. So I, mixed in some Attack on Titan, um,
Mm-hmm.
with the kind of cool gear that the Rangers have, and
Yes.
the giant kind of creatures.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
Um, yeah, like I definitely drew from my favorites, like across media, and kind of thought about what I really wanted to see in the
Mm-hmm.
story if I was the reader. Um, the story excited me once I got it down. It excited me, and I was like, I hope other people get just as excited as I
Mm-hmm.
did, like coming up, like finalizing the idea. Yeah.
Yes. Oh, okay. Um, Now, as you mentioned, your love for, because because the only thing I really remember focusing on was your love for dragons. Um,
Mhm.
Now I know, well, besides Game of Thrones, like, did you have any favorite movies or shows that, well, I think the only one I could think is just movies, yeah, because I think Game of Thrones was the first one that did dragons on TV. But did you have any favorite movies that like had dragons in it and stuff like that?
There's actually a TV show called, I think, Dragon Riders, or
Oh,
it was animated. I don't know,
oh,
maybe it's Canadian. I don't
okay.
I don't know, but like
Hmm.
I remember McDonald's like years ago had toys for it too even. I don't know if I still have them. I wish I did.
Oh
I don't
my
think I
God.
do though.
Yeah.
But they're really cool dragon designs, and I think I actually referenced them when I was like making my own dragons. Um,
Hmm.
so that's a TV show. And then,
Hmm.
yeah, you're right. It's mostly movies. So How to Train Your
Yes.
Dragon, obvious one.
Hmm.
Um, Lord of the Rings, I guess. No,
Hmm.
not Lord of the Rings. Well, they did have those dragon-like creatures, but they
Yeah.
weren't dragons,
Yeah.
and but The Hobbit, definitely
Oh
The
yes.
Hobbit.
Yes.
Um, A Reign of Fire, right?
Hmm. Yes.
Um, there's something called Dragon Wars, and it was like, but mostly it featured like a giant cobra.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Um, um, yeah. Uh, I mean, Rhea is a newer one, right? I didn't really grow up with that because it's new.
Hmm.
Um, yeah, yeah. There's probably more, but I'm like blanking.
Oh no, that's fine. No, but that's really good. Yeah.
Yeah.
Um, and then um, when you're, I'm gonna, I'm actually I'm gonna hold off on this question till I start asking about, did you create a Bible for your story or maps or anything like that? So, all right, now I'm gonna ask, who are your characters in the story?
Okay, so main character would be Eric,
Uh-huh.
or Commander Arick Knight, and he's the leader of the cadets, and he's very moody and secretive.
Yes.
Um, and he's just he looks like he's based on Geralt from The Witcher, but he's not.
Oh yeah.
I actually only played The Witcher after I had started working on Rangers. So he looks like Geralt, but more inspired by like Legolas from
Oh, okay.
yeah,
Mm-hmm.
I was going to say Rangers, but Lord of the Rings, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And then we have the cadets.
Mm-hmm.
So the siblings, which are Bryce and Brant, and they're
Mm-hmm.
just the worst. And then we have, well, they're the comic relief, because you need that kind of to
Oh,
balance things
yes.
out, I
Yeah.
feel. Um, and then we have Elsie,
Mm-hmm.
who's definitely a big character, and
Yes.
she's definitely the one that kind of um can kind of get through to Eric more than the others.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
And Camille, who takes everything very seriously.
Yes.
Uh, Arno and Ivan, who are just the two guys,
Mm-hmm.
the two guys in the story. Um, and yeah, that's mostly the crew. Um, I mean, the other characters are the dragons, right? And
Yes.
then
Yeah.
the creatures are always so mean.
Yeah.
It seems they always have it out for the Rangers. They
Mm-hmm.
can't catch a break. So yeah, I think that's like, the blanket, like the cover,
Yeah.
that covers all of them.
Actually, the one question I was gonna ask that I was gonna wait
Mhm.
to ask about your Bible. Actually, it's a good segue to this next question. So, because um at, at the in the back of the trade is all the back well is all the um who the character the characters um and also to the dragons. You have the individual
Mhm.
dragons for each of the characters. And so,
Yes.
how did you come up with the dragons' names? Because it's not like, whoa, girl, steady, or it's like, because I remember Arick, I think in the first few pages, I think I remember he called the name of one of his dragons, or his dragon that he rides. So how did you come up with their names?
Um, right. So I kind for like I made Eric Stricken first.
Hmm.
Way like a long time before the other dragons came into the picture, and then um for the main, so I have, and then I came up with Elsie's dragon, and then I came
Hmm.
up with the four,
Hmm.
the last four.
Hmm.
And for the last, I guess I'm going to work backwards with this one. So for the last four, I just kind of, I think I did the designs, and then I named them after I
Yeah.
established the designs. Like I was like, oh, this, he looks like this,
Hmm.
which is easier for me. And then it took me a long time for Elsie Dragon Bean to come up with his name, but I figured he's like so compact and so small compared to the other
Hmm.
dragons that I just call him
Hmm.
Bean. And
Yeah.
I call my dogs that too. I'm like, hello, Bean, So I thought that would be fun to put in there. Like
Hmm.
it makes me happy, and
Hmm.
brings up
Hmm.
memories of my dogs. Um and then for Eric's dragon, it's actually like the Wendigo is based on mythology, right? So Jormungandr,
Oh,
like
mhm.
he is uh oh God, a Norse god, kind of like, he's the world serpent.
Mhm.
And I was like I said, I play a lot of video games, so
Yes.
and God of War, the reboot kind of one, with again that father son kind of
Mhm.
thing, which I really like. So I guess I wanted to like honor that kind of game and
Mhm.
its inspiration by naming
Mhm.
um my dragon after the world serpent, who was really cool in the game, and also in just in the mythology. Yeah.
Mhm. That is amazing. I mean, sorry, I'm going off the cuff, Megan.
Hmm.
That's why that's one of the things I love about this story is um even though you created this world, it's still it's grounded in our mythology. That's
Yeah.
the thing I love about it. You know,
Yeah.
because
Thank you.
because it's recognizable creatures, or even the names, it's recognizable. So it's still, it's not like, so it's kind of like I can still relate to it. Like, oh
Yeah.
yeah. So, and that's why, I said that this story is, it has a real mystical feel to it. It
Hmm.
really does, you know. So, um, let's see. Let me continue on. I'm just gonna ask because I know um, now the Rangers and I got this from the beginning part of the trade was that they're an ancient military order of peacekeepers and protectors who patrol the borders between two nations.
Yeah.
Um, so now one nation is the Vale Nation and
Hmm.
Rylon Nation. I'm
Yeah.
going to ask, can you just describe the nations briefly? You know,
Um, I'll be honest with you. I didn't think too hard about them because
no,
it
that's
wasn't
fine.
about the nations. I
Yeah,
think it was mostly about getting to the nations almost. Like it's about the journey, it's not
yeah,
the destination.
hmm,
Um,
yeah, yes,
um, and yeah, I think they're yeah, so the Rangers, are typically peacekeepers, but they're also explorers. So
hmm,
mostly, I mean, 100% what they're doing now is exploring. Like,
hmm,
I might do like, a prequel or something that if, they let me, though of
hmm,
course that's
yeah,
that explores, more of the tension between the nations and the more of the border guarding duties and what that entails.
hmm,
But I'm just kind of focusing on exploring and not even just exploring. They're like they have tunnel vision in this series and they're
hmm,
very much set on getting to their destination in one of the nations.
yes,
And
yeah,
yeah, so yeah, I didn't really, I mean, I think this land in general is still very um young kind of, and
hmm,
it's not really covered with like lots of man-made structures by any means. Like a lot of
hmm,
it's still kind of like untouched. So
hmm.
um yeah, it's just mostly wildlands. In my opinion, I think
Okay,
right now. Yeah.
yeah, okay. I'm sorry, I got Megan. I'm going to point this out. So,
Mhm.
listeners, if you hear growling noises, it's not because I have a dragon in my room. It's my stomach growling,
Oh,
because I hope you're not hearing that on the other end.
no, no, I'm not.
Okay. So I just want to let fans know that. So sorry about that. Yeah, I just didn't have any. I had a small breakfast. So anyway,
Oh,
we're gonna continue on.
okay.
Um, okay, so now the Rangers, they have like these navy uniform designs.
Hmm.
Um, I'm gonna ask, can you and also in the back matter, I love your back matter because
Okay.
it shows like what these uniforms are, because and you can correct me if I'm wrong, but like when they put on their uniform, there's like wings that come out of their sleeves as gliders, that the
Yeah.
gliders, um and then there's some type of metal tail that comes out.
Yeah, I just call it the extension.
Oh,
And
okay.
then, but when I'm writing the script for myself, it's easier just to call it like a tail. I just go,
Oh
oh,
yeah.
she swiped with her tail,
No, yeah.
so I can follow better. But I think, visually, I think readers can, I think they can get it. Yeah.
Oh yeah. No, yes,
Yeah.
yes. And then also too, let's see, they have and also too, what was pretty cool is that each of the Rangers have helmets, and it's all
Mhm.
different types of helmets. It's not a
Yeah.
standard military helmet, and it covers their whole face, but it's like
Yeah.
literally, yeah. So how did you come up with these designs?
Um, I think I was like, um, indirectly. I don't know if I ever thought about it, like, but like Predator,
Oh my God,
Predator,
yes.
yeah. So Predator, they have that, the first Predator kind of helmet,
Yeah.
which is I think standard. It's been in a few movies,
Yeah.
and then they have, but they, the Scar Predator in AVP, he has like a little, he put like a little symbol in his helmet to
Like a
indicate,
T.
yeah, like a
Right?
T.
Yeah. Because I mean, yeah,
Yeah,
when he's like his first kill or something. Okay,
yeah.
sorry.
No, it's okay. And then, but yeah, I mean, they're all different. The Predators and Predators in 2009, I think. Like
Hmm.
they all had really cool different helmets, and I think it's been a long time since I designed the helmets, so I don't know if I drew inspiration from them, um, or if I wanted to do my own thing. But if anything, if I did draw inspiration from anything, it'd be Predator, the Predator
Yeah.
series. Yeah.
Wow. No, but oh my God, that's pretty cool. I didn't realize that.
Yeah.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah.
Oh, that is, like I said, that is so cool. Um, okay, so let's see. I'm going to continue on now for our listeners. Like, is like the first volume sort of a self-containing story. I mean, we already talked a little bit before we did the interview, but
Right. Um, yeah, kind of.
yeah,
I think I mean, it is,
yes,
but it does end on a big cliffhanger.
yes.
So it's like probably not. I mean, you could consider it to be self-contained if you just want to stop there, But more happens in the follow-up series for
Hmm.
sure, and um, more questions get answered, and
Hmm.
Um, but if you don't have any questions, I mean, you can stop right, you
Yeah.
can stop reading right there at the end,
uh,
or earlier on.
mhm.
It's up to the readers.
Okay. Listeners, I don't want to. Okay, I'll be honest. All right, I was
Mhm.
writing these questions while I was reading the trade. I didn't even get to the end but and I didn't want to spoil it for anyone, and we're not spoiling it, but it ends on a very good cliffhanger. It does. Um, yeah. Yeah. So yeah, that's it. So, but it's very, like I said, I love this trade because you learn who the characters are. Um, I love the world building. Like I said, it's really good. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. So I'm gonna ask, like, now before we jump into Rangers of the Divide 2, how did you get hooked up with Dark Horse for this series?
I think honestly that my work on Gia and the Neon Monster
Hmm.
had a lot to do with it. Like I had that contact with my editors.
Hmm.
Um One of them left, but he helped me to get it um
Hmm.
at least pitched to Dark Horse. I mean, they could easily still have said no, even with
Hmm.
my short history with them already, but
Hmm.
they didn't, which is good. And my other editor, who's still on the book and who's still at Dark Horse,
Hmm.
she's been really supportive, and she
Yes.
really
Hmm.
helps to get the book picked up. And I think while I was at Disney World like 2 years ago, I was discussing like the contract details with her
Hmm.
while I was walking around one of those shops at Disney, like surrounded by like
Uh-huh.
Mickey Mouse's. But yeah, it was, which was it's just going to Disney and also talking about your own book getting picked up. It was exciting, very
Yeah.
exciting time.
Oh, that's pretty cool.
Yeah.
I'm going to jump ahead to this one question because you already started. Like, do you want to give a shout out to that editor that helped you?
Yes, Judy Koo, she's really nice, and now we have Rose Whites on it, and
Hmm.
she's been really helpful as well. Both of them have, you know, they yeah, they're very supportive, very knowledgeable, very helpful, very
Hmm.
talented
Hmm.
at what they do for sure.
Hmm. Ah, okay. All right. Um, Now we're going to get into um Rangers of the Divide 2 Into the Depths. Now, um actually I'm gonna adjust this question a little bit. Basically, um issue number one is it literally gonna pick up where the cliffhanger ends from volume one?
Yes.
Okay.
It will, like, right after. Yeah.
Okay. All
Yeah.
right. And then let's see, because like I said, listeners, I don't want to tell you how it ends because then we spoil it and
Hmm.
then so forth. So let's see. Did you already have the story ready while did you have like the whole idea of what you were going to do, like the complete story, like there's going to be volume one, this is going to be volume two, you know?
Um, yeah. And then I had to, like, and then I forgot. And then I had to write it down so that I remembered. But I'm actually, like, starting to get nervous because, like, I'm not sure where I put that. Like, it's still in my head. Like, I know
Mhm.
what I want to do, but, like,
Yes.
to have it all written down and have the nuances that I kind of want written down, that stuff I could easily forget. It's probably a good thing. But yeah, I definitely tried to plan it. Didn't I didn't definitely didn't just go with the flow for
Yeah.
it.
Yes.
Um, I think it works out better that way,
Mhm.
because you can tell when some, like, movies or shows or books or something don't have a plan, and then
Mhm.
it's like, and then people pick up on that, and
Mhm.
they're like, I know what you're doing.
Yeah. Yeah.
So yeah, I
Mhm.
tried to show that I had a plan. I think it's better that way.
Mhm. Um, Sorry, I'm gonna ask an off the cuff question because I just thought of it.
Mhm.
Are we gonna see any new characters or new creatures in Into the Depths?
Yes. New creatures for sure.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I don't character wise. Oh, I don't know. I guess you can consider it a creature slash character. I don't, but you'll see new people and
Okay.
creatures
Okay.
potentially,
Yeah.
maybe.
No, okay. All right. And then let's see. I'm gonna ask you like you know, um like did when you're planning this out, um how long are you hoping this series to last? Like, are you looking at 3 volumes of trade or 4?
Um, yeah, exactly. Actually, like, four, um, I would be ideal for me. Um, I just feel like that would be enough space for me to tell the entire story, and not have it go on too long,
Yes.
or get cut short with 3 volumes. I feel like I could do just 3 volumes, but I just feel like it will be cut short. Like, I'll have to condense a lot into
Mhm.
that last volume, and
Yes.
it's just gonna be it's too much and too fast, and
Yes.
yeah, and I don't know if people would appreciate. I wouldn't appreciate that
Mhm.
personally. Yeah. So ideally four. Yeah.
No, yeah. No, but I understand. And listeners, I'm sorry. I know, and I'm sorry, Megan. I know we want to promote Rangers of the Divide too, but yet again, it's like how volume one ended on that cliffhanger. We can't really tell too much, or I can't
Yeah.
say too much. But the thing is, but if you guys get a chance, read volume one because I think that the thing I love about volume one is that it slowly reveals itself. It's
Mhm.
you see you know you see Commander Eric's character. Is not only is he secretive, but then there's a little bit of his character nuances, and I'm not going
Mhm.
to reveal it because you and me and Megan, we talked about this before, before we did the interview of um his relationship with the cadets, you know
Mhm.
and I think that's key to the story. And your introduction slowly of how they fight the Wendigo. And the thing I love about the Wendigo is now I'm not too familiar with Canadian mythical creatures. The only reference I could think of is what I've seen from Marvel Comics. That Wendigo, but your Wendigo design is very different and it's really nice. Yeah. So, okay, sorry about that. Okay, so
It's okay.
I'm gonna ask, and I already touched on this already. Did you, for this world building, um, did you create like a Bible for yourself and a map of where things are in this world?
Um, yeah, I definitely had to draw myself out a map, and I think I might have sent it to my editors to give them like or give. Oh, I think it was just Judy at the time,
Hmm.
and Rose wasn't on in the picture yet. I think I might have sent her a map to give her an idea. I'm not sure. It was a long time ago,
Yeah.
like a couple years now. But I did have one for myself, and I still do have it.
Mm.
I haven't referenced it in a while because
Hmm.
I don't think there's any need to at this
Yeah.
for now. Maybe in the next arc I will, just to kind of give myself a feel of the space and again, so that I don't like say like a city is so far away when it's actually pretty close, you know.
Yeah. No. Hmm.
Um, yeah, yeah. So I gave me, I definitely tried to make it easy on myself, and
Hmm.
so I'm gonna have to go back and re kind of imagine everything, which is just I kind of had to do that when I was doing um working out arc 2, and it was just like
Hmm.
frustrating. So
Hmm.
I'm trying to make it easier on myself for the next go around. Yeah.
Oh, okay. All right. Um, Now this is a process question. It comes from Drew, who submitted. He's the co-host of Comics for Fun and Profit.
Oh, okay.
Um, did you write a full script before you started the art on this series?
Yes.
Okay.
I always for me like it's like if I don't plan, I will just mess everything up. So I have to,
Mhm.
do it in these kind of rigid kind of like parts. Like it has to go a certain way or else I'm gonna get lost, you know?
Mhm.
Um,
Mhm.
so yeah, I definitely did that. And I did that for arc 2 as well. And probably for arc 3 if they greenlight that.
Mhm.
And 4 if they greenlight that too.
Yes, yes, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, okay. All right. Now are um now um are you okay if I describe your art style as sort of a little bit of a manga and anime style?
Yeah, I
If
think so. Yeah.
because
Cartoony, you know?
well, I wouldn't say not cartooning, but it has that nice manga animated style because
Yeah.
I love some of those facial expressions on the characters. I really do in the first
Yeah.
line. And I had to write into my notes because I had to look up I had to make sure I got the character right. But in like on page 24, and I'm hoping I got the characters correct. Bryce's look, I think it's the next morning or something. It's after they I think Elsie defeated a Wendigo, and I think they're supposed to go after another Wendigo, and Arick is like
Um,
telling them, and then Bryce's face is you just see her eyes are all wide, and you have it where it's like you could like see the sweat dripping down her face.
yeah.
I loved it.
Thank you.
That was great. It was like, oh, I could feel the terror. You're like, oh,
Yeah,
yay.
she's definitely not into that.
And then also too, the other thing I loved, I think it was on page 24 as well. Like you have hope I'm getting the terms correctly, like a long shot of the group, and you see the dragons, all their dragons in the background, and you see one of the
Mhm.
dragons is sort of like playing with the other dragon or nuzzling up against the dragon. That was pretty cool, you
Yeah.
know. That was pretty
I
cool.
think you're talking about my pitch pages. I
Oh,
think
okay.
that those were I actually some of the pages I sent in for the pitch, and then I had to rework them for for the finals. But yeah, those are, I think that's one of the pages that got it picked up, which is cool.
Oh, okay. Because it was kind of nice where it was just the dragons are not just standing there and like one's looking off to the side. It's just no, they're interacting with each other, and that was pretty
Yeah.
cool. That's what I loved about it. Now correct me if I'm wrong. You're coloring the whole series, is that correct?
Yeah, it's a lot of work.
No, it's well, okay. Yes, I have to. Okay, but I love the colors. I love it.
Yeah.
During the daytime, the colors are so bright and vibrant. I love it. It's just it's just great.
Thank
Yeah,
you.
yeah. All right, I'm gonna start wrapping things up. So
Okay.
now, what is the most fun or exciting thing you love working in comics?
I think, oh man, I think I just like working with like new people.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, most people are really cool to work with. There's obviously the outlier, like the people who stand out as like not really fun to work with, but I really love, working with new people and working with
Mm-hmm.
people who like have worked on some crazy things themselves, like really cool things.
Mm-hmm.
Like mentioned Trading before, who I worked on like the who I'm working on the Freddie Mercury one with, and then All Time Low and stuff. He was really cool to work with, and he has some really awesome things under his belt as a writer.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and getting to color other artists' works sometimes is pretty cool.
Mm-hmm.
I like some of them are really good, and I'm just afraid to tarnish their beautiful lines when I do some color
Mm-hmm.
work for people.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I think working with new people is exciting. I think working with new publishers is exciting.
Mm-hmm.
And getting to do different sorts of projects. It's
Mm-hmm.
just I just love comics.
Oh yeah, no, yes,
Yeah.
yeah. No, but that's great. All right. Um, Favorite convention moment, whether as a fan or as a creator.
Um, I think, oh man, probably as a creator fan. I don't
Oh
know.
yeah, yeah,
Yeah, right.
yeah.
Well, if you hear a sound, that's my dog here. She's asleep.
Oh,
Um,
that's
she's
fine.
about to go to
You should
sleep.
have just told us that's my pet dragon. Shh.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. You have a pet dragon too in your stomach.
Yeah.
Um,
I love it.
um, oh yeah. So creator moment or convention moment, right?
Yeah.
Um, I think I really like doing the um sketch duels at the conventions. I really
Oh.
like doing those, and I also like really appreciate when people come up with my books for me to sign, and I'm just always so flattered that they took the time to come down to
Mhm.
you know the con to and brought lugged their book, because I'm sure they have other things to bring. I've
Mhm.
brought my fair share of books to cons.
Mhm.
They get heavy over time, like really quickly, and I really appreciate when people do that. And like I definitely am so happy that they enjoyed the books that much that
Mhm.
they would do that. It's
Yeah.
just so amazing. And um in doing a sketch duel for people, and getting to talk with other creatives about the process, and talk to um really genuinely curious people in the audience is also
Mhm.
really special too. So
Mhm.
I do love those parts of the con experience for me. Yeah.
Let's see. I'm gonna ask, what is your next con or signing appearance, whether it's in late September or October of this year?
Right. So on the 16th, the 18th, I will be doing the Edmonton Comic Expo. I think that's what it's
Okay.
called. And that's my last one for a while. I
Yeah.
wanted to um attend as like a visitor, like New York Comic Con, but I think it's a little too late for that. So
Mhm.
um yeah, I was invited by like new friends and old friends to come down
Nice.
to New York Comic Con and say hi. And I was like, guys, I think I can't do it. It's too late.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and
Mm-hmm.
it's far. It's far
Mm-hmm.
from Canada.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, yeah, yeah.
Mhm. All right. Now, have you and your family been to Hawaii?
Uh, my mom, maybe my dad has, but my mom has because my aunt used to live in Hawaii.
Oh, okay.
I think my dad might have gone with her. Maybe I've been, but like as a fetus or something. Um, I've not. I mean, I watched Gordon Ramsay Uncharted. He had an episode in Hawaii, so and
Okay.
Lilo and Stitch. So I mean, that's about it.
All right. All right. Um, any closing words to our listeners?
Um, I think, pick up Rangers. Just
Mhm.
go do it. I mean, you have no choice. You
Yes.
listen this far, you got to do it now.
Yeah.
Uh, but yeah, no, seriously, like definitely thank you for listening to me ramble on and Jason, thank you for like, listening to me ramble on as well. Like thank you everyone for listening to me ramble. So yeah, I appreciate that.
No, Megan, just mahalo. Just thank you and Huang. Just, actually, thank you very much for um coming to, thank you for accepting my invitation. Thank you very
Mhm.
much for your time. Thank you very much.
Yeah.
Um, I want to wish you all the success for Rangers of the Divide 2 Into the Depth that's coming out
Thank
in
you.
October. Um, Now, for listeners, if you are a new comic book reader or a lifelong comic book reader, please check out the first trade, Ranger the Divide, Volume 1, First Ascent. It's out in stores right now, or you can pick it up on Comixology. And again, the first issue for Rangers of the Divide 2 Into the Depths comes out on October 26th, and the second issue comes out on November 30th. Um, I want to thank Drew, the co-host of Comics for Fun and Profit, for putting this episode together. Drew, thank you very much for all your hard work behind the scenes. Thank you very much. And if you are a new listener, please check out new episodes of Comics for Fun and Profit that comes out every Saturday. And I want to thank you, the listeners. Thank you very much for your time for listening to this episode, listening to our dragons in our background. Until next time, guys, aloha.
Jason's always asking who his next interview should be. As you guys know, he does a fantastic job reaching out to these creators, their publicists, their publishers, various people coordinating these interviews and sharing them with us. And we appreciate it very much. But he's always trying to do more. He's always asking for the right mix to reach out for. So I'm opening it up to you guys. Just share on our social media platforms. Send us an email. Let us know who you want us to interview, what your dream interview people are, or up and comers you'd like to hear from. Jason only has so many hours in the day, and he has quite a schedule, but he'd love to hear your thoughts and any other feedback you have on the interview episodes. Thanks again for listening. We appreciate it.